Hi, I'm Curtis, and welcome to the show, my show, the Curtis Aikens Show. Behind me, one of my favorite sights in the world, the Golden Gate Bridge. When I moved out here back in the 80s, early 80s, I remember the song Otis Redding, 2,000 miles I roamed just to make this dock my home. Wow, my theme song. I spent so much time down here when I was a young man, exploring this area. And when I had kids, the boys, Curtis Jr. and Cole, they used to love to come right over this spot and go crabbing. You see out there on the edge there, that big rock? Oh, we had so much fun. I remember Curtis saying, "Dad, we got to go on a cold day. That's when the crabs are really at it." So we did that. And we go home and cook them and have a good time. Today's show, some more reminiscing. My mama's fried chicken. Ooh, can't wait to share that with you. And if I have time, I'm going to make for you one of my love's favorite dishes, Chicken Marsala. So let's go home and do some cooking. An American classic, Southern classic, right? I've had fried chicken all across the country and in some foreign lands too. However, I've never had fried chicken as good as what Mama, Laura Curtis Aikens, made in her little kitchen down in Conyers, Georgia. I'm going to try to do Mama's fried chicken for you. Mom would always wash the chicken, then pat it dry. I'm not going to bore you by having you watch me wash chicken. Back in a second. Chicken is washed, patted dry, and I've taken a seat. Friday night, I'm going to make the chicken tomorrow. And this is the way Mama always did the fried chicken. As a little boy watching her, I was saying, why is she getting the chicken together at night? I really thought that in my head. She would take the chicken, like I said, wash it, pat it dry. And tonight or tomorrow when I fry this, I've just got the drumettes, the wings, the drumettes, and then I've got thighs, dark meat. And the reason I'm using dark meat is because it takes longer to cook. Okay, so we're gonna fry the chicken the old-fashioned way. We're gonna deep fry it. I'm gonna try to do two things tomorrow when we are cooking. I'm gonna measure the oil that we fry with, before going in, and measure it afterwards and see how much oil the chicken takes in, okay? Small pieces in there. I love wings, so that's why I'm cooking wings. And again, because I don't eat as much as I did when I was a younger person. So now we're going to add the thighs in there. And notice I'm using one hand for the chicken. I'm just going to not touch anything else with that hand. And then Mom would season it. And I'm using Morton's because Mama used Morton's. If it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me, right? There are all kind of great salts that you all see me. And that's a little heavy on the salt. However, you'll see when you fry it up. And this is the last of my pepper from the Kroger in Conyers, Georgia. Mama, thinking about you as I'm using this Kroger pepper. Oh, I love Laura Aikens. That's a lot of pepper. That's the only seasoning I'm going to use. I'm not going to add anything else. No onion powder, no garlic powder, just salt and pepper is the way Mom did it. Now, we're going to cover it with buttermilk. As a kid, the only meal my dad would consider a meal without meat, if it was cornbread and buttermilk. Anytime other than that, he wanted some meat on the table. We wanted to make sure we cover the chicken with the buttermilk. And we're going to put it in the fridge, put a lid on it, and I had a second thing of buttermilk just in case I didn't have enough. We're going to place a lid on this, put it in the fridge, and let it marinate overnight. That's salt and pepper. Before we got to making the chicken, I'd show you all the equipment and things that we would need to prepare Mama's chicken. I got the flour. We're going to dredge it in flour. And I got to be honest with you, I love putting the flour in a bag and doing that, shaking it up, like shake and bake, and I helped. Remember those commercials? I love those things. So we've got the flour to just kind of dredge the marinated chicken in that. cast iron skillet. Now, when Mom was cooking chicken for the family, that's what she used. She used her big old cast iron skillet that I think she got from her mama, who got from her mama. Woo! Cast iron will last a long time. So I hope my boys want my skillets when I'm up yonder in the upper room. Now, when Mama was doing chicken plates, selling chicken plates for the church as a fundraiser or for her, they had a Christmas savings club. Yeah, I remember those things, people down south. The women would gather up, they get together, and through the year they would do fundraisers and raise money so they'd have funds to buy the kids Christmas gifts. The social clubs they were. Anyway, such great memories. But when she was doing fundraisers like that, she would get a big pot out, a heavy bottom pot, and she'd fill it up with oil and deep fry, right? This is before all the fancy deep fries that we can buy through Amazon or wherever, right? And some are pretty cool. However, the best is that heavy bottom pot. Put your oil in. Speaking of oil, we're going to use canola oil. It has a very high smoking point. You can also use peanut oil for frying. However, a lot of people have peanut or nut allergies. So if there's nut allergies in your family, you don't want to cook with peanut oil. So we're going to use the canola, which has a smoking point of about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The peanut oil, the smoking point is about 450 Fahrenheit. So both of them are great for frying. When frying big pieces of chicken, we want the temperature of that oil to be around 375. Now remember, when you add the chicken, the temperature is going to drop a bit. It won't take long for it to come back up. So keep an eye on that. And we'll do that by monitoring the temperature with a thermometer. Just put it in the side and we can see what it is. Keep it around 375. And chicken is done when the internal temperature has reached 165. So we have a meat thermometer to check that. Other utensils we're going to need, I've got a scooper for my fryer. I've got some tongs to turn it over because, as tough as I am, I can't reach in a hot pot with my hands and flip it over. When the chicken is done, I've got a wire rack and I'm going to put a piece of paper towel under, a couple pieces of paper towel under it so the oil will drip off, right? Drip out, and you don't want to set it on top of a paper towel because it just soaks that up. So have something that runs away. I think that's all and we need heat. So we have to get to the stove top for that heat. Well, let's pull that chicken out and I'll tell more stories about Mama and her cooking. Oh, the buttermilk. I wanted to share that about buttermilk. Why the buttermilk? Now, I don't know if my mama knew this or all those great cooks in the day, why they did buttermilk other than it tastes good. The acids in that buttermilk. Now, we learned this when we're studying us culinary professionals. And it's funny because Mama was a great cook. Her mom was a great cook. Though that generation were great cooks before anything of a culinary profession was around. So our hats off to all those great cooks that we stand on top of. The acid in that buttermilk helps to tenderize the meat, and it also helps the chicken stay nice and juicy and crispy on the outside when you're cooking it. So they knew something back in the day, right? Well, let's get to cooking. Let's get to making Mama's buttermilk fried chicken. One cup. It may take at least 3 of 11 cups of oil in there. A lot of oil went in, but I've got it just high enough so we can get the temperature. I'm going to start the stove. We'll see how long it takes to reach 400 degrees. So I've got my marinated chicken, my buttermilk chicken here, flour, and then when the temperature's up, we'll drop her in and start to fry. I want to remind you, just take your time. Don't be in a rush. We are preparing love. When you feed the people you care about, we're preparing love. And love ain't in no hurry. Our oil is ready to cook. It took it's 7:31, so it took about 15 minutes to get the oil to our desired temperature. I'm going to add the small pieces first and see how we do there. And see how long it takes to cook. It should take about, 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to drop those in. That was a wing. And you see how it's frying there? I'm gonna drop in a drumette. Then let's put 2 of the larger pieces in. Remember, the temperature is gonna drop once you add this, and we are not gonna place a lid on this chicken. Isn't that gorgeous? Don't drop them, kind of lay them in because you don't want that oil splattering up and burning you or your kids or someone in the kitchen with you, okay? So we've got a wing, a drumette, and a thigh in there. Oh, this is looking so good, everyone. Bonito. Look at that. Mama would be proud. There's that wing. Ooh la la. We're going to take it. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to take it and put it on the rack there. We'll pull out the drumette. The drumette is hiding down there. One of the thighs out and place it on the rack, and we'll check the internal temperature. Oh, this has been just, wow, what a wonderful time I've had frying chicken and reminiscing about Mama. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Ooh la la. We got a few more pieces in there to cook. And this, I had to get another board for chicken because we've got so much bird tonight. All right, let's see here. Oh, look at that. Let's check the temperature of this one. The internal temp. There we go. Well, our chicken is looking really good, you all. Again, get down to that bone because you want to, that internal temperature at that bone is what we really want to check because that's the part where we can cause some trouble. 165 is our goal. Chicken time at the Aikens house. Thank you, Mama. All right. I think I'll take a bite. Oh, I just love those little ones. Last couple of pieces are coming out. We're putting them on the rack to cool. Our chicken is done. What should we serve with it? I'm gonna go for another one of these drumettes. They look so good. Lisa had some and she loved it. So juicy and crispy on the outside. Wow. Mama's fried chicken. Remember, fried foods are not bad foods, okay? The key is to get your temperature of the oil hot enough so that that whatever you're cooking, whether it's chicken or fish or whatever, doesn't absorb that oil. Wow, if I could sing Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay, I'd do it. That was my theme song as a young man. Beautiful. Down at Fort Baker this morning for our opening. Lisa and I just got our second vaccine and we're so excited to be able to get home, to see her mom up in South Carolina and see my family down in Georgia. Up there is the Robin William Tunnell. Gorgeous. See if I can get a closer view of that. Yeah. The Bay Area. Love it. Marsala time. No, not Winston Marsalis. Marsala Chicken Marsala we're going to make. And the ingredients to make the Marsala, Chicken Marsala, of course chicken, and I'm using chicken breast today. You can use the dark meat. You can find boneless chicken thighs in many places around the country, so look for those. Now, however, I'm going to use the breast. Now, these are rather large chicken breasts, so I'm going to slice them in half, then butterfly through there to get, up to 8 servings out of this for these 2 chicken breasts. The Marsala wine, of course, and you can find this in markets around. I'm going to use some broth, chicken broth, vegetable broth, whatever broth you have, heavy cream, and we're going to serve it on top of some homemade pasta that we have dried. Other things we're going to need: flour. Of course, we're going to dredge the chicken in the flour, then fry it ever so slightly so it's nice and done. And then you've got my little blend of spices. I'm trying to think of what I'll put in here, because there's garlic and onion powder. There's some sage. Sage is great with poultry. Smells so good. Garlic, of course, we're going to press some garlic in when we're making our sauce. And I'm going to show you another one of the tricks of mine that I love to do with my marsala. This is a cipollini onion, really, really small onion, beautiful sweet onion. Okay, I'm going to press this through the garlic press, just like I do the garlic, because I want to get that nice juice out. Now, our special guest stars in this recipe today, mushrooms. You know, it is a mushroom dish. The chicken marsala is a mushroom dish. I'm not using the classic button or the cremini mushrooms. I'm going to use my favorites again, the parota, the oyster mushroom. And it gets its name for a couple of reasons. One, it grows in a cluster like oysters do out in the sea. And also that color. Look at that color. It's that bronzy looking color like oysters. And then I'm going to use that king oyster again. I just love the way these look and the taste and feel of them. Some call these trumpet mushroom, giant trumpet. However, this is not the trumpet mushroom I learned while working at Balducci's on the East Coast. The trumpet back there looked really, really like the horn of a trumpet. If I can find some, I'll show them to you, of course. Now, our special guest star, out here, this is called the lion's mane. I say out here, in this part of the country, it's called lion mane. Some places called snowball or snow puff. It's a beautiful white mushroom, and when you find it, it's a huge, huge, gorgeous. It looks like a cauliflower. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to slice that as thin as possible. Then we'll saute in that butter and olive oil before we add the Marsala wine and get our party started. So, as always, safety first. So a little paper towel underneath to lock the cutting board in place. Paper towel underneath that cutting board locks it in solid. Now, let's just cut our chicken breast ready. We're going to, like I say, slice through the middle, cutting them in half, and they're pretty thick. You can pound it out if you want to, or what I love doing is I just slice them, butterfly them right through the middle, and that makes it nice and thin. Look at that. Ooh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's put a little salt and pepper, a little of that special seasoning on there before we dredge it in the flour. Remember, keep one hand dry so you can touch the dry ingredients. The other hand, is free to handle the wet ingredients. Yeah, that's pretty thin there. We're going to season that a bit. It's okay if it's on the cutting board because you can pull that up, right? Now we're going to put this in the flour. We'll dredge it through our flour. I almost grabbed it with that hand. Chef, be careful. Oh, that's a huge chicken breast right there. So let's cut there. And when you slice it like that, the great thing, so you can just stack it up on the end, and that makes it pretty easy to butterfly. Now, if I were really, really wanting to be budget conscious, I could slice those even thinner, right? Those are nice. Now, in the restaurant, we would pound that out. Beautiful. Just butterfly it up, and I'm going to add that seasoning to that inside portion. New cutting board, and remember, safety first. It's always about safety in the kitchen. Paper towel under the cutting board, including wooden cutting boards, have to lock it in place. Let's prep our vegetables for our marsala. I need 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, and we're just going to pop those out. And I'm sure you've seen this over the years. The best, easiest way to peel garlic is to pop it out of the clove like so. And then you just take the little, pop it out of the bulb. And you take the clove and just smash it with your knife. And it just pops out. Then we can add it to the press and go to town. Those cipollini onions are next. And they're very small, almost like pearl onions. However, they can be a bit larger too. So when you buy them, just choose the size you like if they are loose. I like the smaller ones. They seem to be a bit sweeter. And I'm going to probably cut these in quarters. And you can already see the juices starting to come out. But that's what I want to add to my Marsala. Oh, we got our mushrooms to prep now. I'm not going to use all the lion's mane because Lisa said she wanted a mushroom omelet tomorrow. So if you haven't seen the omelet show, hey, watch it. Now let's just slice these up. Now for the lion's mane. Got a little of the seasoning left, so I'm going to all right, let's go to the stove. Okay, let's brown our chicken. Oh, I just love that sound. Generous amount of olive oil, about a quarter cup, because we're going to use that oil in our Marsala. We're going to add some butter to it as well. It won't take these breasts nearly as long to cook, these boneless breasts, as it does when you're frying chicken with the bone in. So those two pieces, those two large breasts, we got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, we got 8 pieces. Some of them are not full servings, however, they're nice pieces. Remember, a lot of stovetops, there's hot spots. Chicken's looking good. 3/17, so we've been cooking 5 minutes. And these small pieces don't take that long, like maybe 5 to 7 minutes to cook. Beautiful color there. And I'm going to show you a trick. You know, you can always adjust your heat with the up and down dial. However, one of the things I like doing is sometimes I'll just raise it above the flame. And that just helps me monitor my temperature. Butter. Here come our mushrooms. I want you to take your time here and let's cook those mushrooms. Give them 3-4 minutes. I want to get them nice and soft. Let's get our pasta water started. Water, I'm going to add some olive oil to it and a little bit of salt. The mushrooms are looking nice. Look at that. They're starting to come down beautifully. Okay, so we're just about ready to start to make. I want these so soft, so tender. Okay, we've brought our cream and garlic in place. I'm going to add my Marsala. Kind of deglaze the pan. Let that reduce. Don't rush yourself. Take your time. That's coming along nicely. Let's put those cipollini onions in there. I'm going to squeeze them. I want that nice sweet onion flavor in there. This is so lovely, those mushrooms. I'm going to lower the flame because we're going to add our broth. Let that come back up to temp. Now the last we'll add our cream. And I want to stir the cream in there. I don't want it to curdle. Look at those, aren't those mushrooms gorgeous? Lower that heat if you need, okay? Down to a simmer. I want to allow this to thicken up. And we'll add our chicken back to it. The great thing about using these scrapers, you can just get all of that cream or whatever in there. Our pasta water is ready. Rapid boil, we'll take that off. And this pasta should only take about 7 to 10 minutes. Chicken is ready to go back into the sauce. And we'll let this simmer until we are ready to serve. The chicken marsala is ready. I think Mama Latanzio back in Syracuse would be proud of me for this dish. When she comes out, I'm going to cook it for you, Mama Latanzio. Let's give it a shot. Wow. It's finger licking. That's the chicken. Let's try these mushrooms. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A bit of the pasta. Whoops, I'm gonna get messy. Not supposed to twirl.